was lovely to watch you work your dogs down below, and we're up here now on a course where you've held the national a couple of times, and it's a lovely location. You've been trialling dogs now quite a while. Were you young when you started, Allistair?
Yeah, I guess I was probably 8 years old when I ran my first dog, which would have been off-casts of my father's when
Yes.
he was dogs that he was getting finished with, just going out competing really at young handlers and just maybe starting out just the way things go and just getting the feel of the job, and I guess it just went on from there, and I got keener and maybe eventually got a better dog, which was a brown bitch called Kate I got from Paddy Allistair and Jonathan Irvine.
Yes, yes. And I know your father, I know he's been trialling a long time too. He must have been a great man to get started under then.
Yeah, Dad was always a great mentor and tutor, like. I suppose he taught me everything I know, and another man that would have been a real good mentor of mine would have been Hartford Logan.
Oh yes, very good. And you're a sheep farmer mainly, is it?
Yeah, sheep, and we keep suckler cows as well.
Yeah.
We run black EOs. We cross them with blue Leicester tips to get our mule ewes, and we keep a flock of mules. Also, we have a few Herdwicks and Hebrideans, which we like to vary to change and train dogs on. We also breed purebred blue-faced Leicesters.
Yeah, I saw your Leicesters there, and I've known that you've been breeding rams for a long time now. That's quite a variety of sheep, and do you find it's good for, I suppose it must be good for your handling there, getting to work all the different types? And
Yeah, it's nice to have a variation of sheep and different types of dogs and seeing how they work out on different types of sheep, like, and it gives them vast experience of
yeah, do you think
different
it's
types of work.
a benefit for dogs to be working, say maybe on did you mention you have, what are those little black sheep called there?
The Hebrideans.
Yeah, are they very good for training dogs? Or
Yeah, they're nice to get young dogs started on because they love to stay together, and they're good to flow off a youngster, and you know, it gets them, if he breaks a sheep off, they'll always beat the young dog or pup back into the group again.
Yes,
and
yes.
that's where it
Yeah,
becomes
so
very
useful
good.
there.
Yeah.
And the Herdwicks, I don't know much about them. They look like a very unusual sheep there. Sometimes they're nearly blue in the wool. And what are they like to hunt on?
Yeah, the Herdwicks, they're a funny little sheep to work on. Very hard to read. You
Yeah.
never know what they're going to do, and they're very investigative into a dog, and will always go and look, and they'll stand, and they're just a strange sheep to work on, but they're quite good to train on then when you get.
And then, you've shepherded abroad, or you've done lambings and things like that?
Yeah, I've done lambings and wheels and that, and yeah, I suppose it was all experience for coming home, and
Yeah, you have a lot of mileage under the belt.
yeah.
And I know last year now you had a big achievement in the national, but tell us first, how many times have you been on the Irish team? Because you're fairly regular at it there.
I have 14 team places
God.
gathered up at this stage, so
Yeah.
it's quite.
You're a comfortable man at it.
I've been in a few lean years too in the mix of that, but
Yeah.
yeah, it's been quite good to me this last years. Like,
And last year now I was at the national there, and it was very impressive to see what you did there, and coming first and second. That must be a nice achievement there.
it was just an exceptional year. I never could get higher than, I had been third twice in the national, never could get the top 2 spots, and last year everything just seemed to fall into place, and it just seemed to be my year. No matter what I'd done, it was working. Like,
Yes.
it was just, yeah, it was nice. And as you know yourself, when you go forward with your first dog, knowing you've gone through and made the final or the run-off of the last 3, it gives you great confidence going out with your number 2 dog, and
Yeah.
for everything to.
It's an interesting position to be in. That's what I was wondering, would you sit back when you had the dog, you let the dog in for the runoff? I was thinking, will you sit back now with the second one? But you didn't let up.
No, I just was probably keener and more determined, and I just felt quite good, and yeah, I was just quite relaxed out there and enjoyed it more so than.
Yeah, you put up
fighting with it.
a 198 with the first dog, and then you went out and beat yourself. I thought that was very good.
Yeah, funny. Frankie McCullough was sitting on a 198 when I was going out to run. My father said to me, "Well, what are you going to do with him?" And I said, I told him, I'm going looking for Frankie, and I came off with a 204.
Ah,
yeah,
super
it was a
stuff.
very good run. Like.
And now we have national coming up again, and hopefully with a bit of luck for you, the international. But with the national, how do you go about preparing for that in the year? Or when do you start, or when do you start thinking about it?
I suppose basically fitness is a big thing in your dogs. You need to keep them fit, and just I guess the type of dogs I run are quite strong and need a bit of schooling as well at the back of it. Like, we generally do less farm work coming up to the national with them dogs. So we just use other young dogs to do the farm work.
Yes.
You know, just keep the 2 dogs for the national, just keep them fit, and you know, just an odd bit of schooling.
Yeah.
To try and keep them right.
And this year now you have a lot on your plate this year now. I know that you're vice president there, and you're heavily involved in running the international that we're going to have at Guildhall. Has that been a lot of work?
Yeah, I suppose our president has done the whole work really on that, and you know, he's just been keeping me informed and keeping me posted on the runnings, and I suppose trying to get me prepared for what I have ahead of me. But everything looks to be running fairly well, and you know, they have a lot of money gathered up and sponsorship, and it looks to be a very nice course, and everything seems to be running good for it now.
Yeah, and you'll have had the experience of setting up a good one, and now you'll take over as Irish president now in October or November, I suppose.
Yeah, I take over in November, so I do, and it's a big task to be taken on, and I suppose you just have to try and enjoy it too, and see where it goes, and try and get everybody pulling together and working with you, and try and work with everybody.
The book will be stopping with you for the next four years. And the other thing I know, like, you're a very accomplished judge. I see you judging a lot of big stuff there, and you're in the US quite a bit and in Europe, and just, you know, you've been trialling a very long time. Do you notice much that, like, has the standard changed much over the last 20 or 25 years, or have dogs changed, or what kind of changes do you see coming into the whole thing?
Well, the competition over the years has become extreme now. It has almost become what you would say nearly a professional job. Years ago, you'd have went to a trial when I was young, and you'd have knew the maybe 6 or 8 people capable of winning or going to be in the prizes. Nowadays, you go to a trial and there's 50 out of them 60 or 70 dogs. Anybody's capable of winning it nowadays. It's just the standard has become so strong and high, like, and
yeah, well, you're still able to win, and I see you're up here in the hotbed of Donegal. Like, this is a serious trial, but it's very different, say, from European handlers. And like, you've seen plenty of them. You've competed in Euro nurseries and things like that. What do you think about the level of the handlers on the continent, say?
Europe has become, a lot of people got very keen, and a lot more interest, and people wanting to learn and wanting to improve. And you know, you remember doing clinics back years ago and see them people coming on and how they've accomplished and became very good handlers, working on different types of sheep that aren't as maybe free and mobile. They just maybe having the big numbers of sheep to, you know, vary it so much. But definitely a lot of very accomplished handlers out there.
Yeah, and that's the thing I always find very interesting. Like, they mightn't have a great selection of sheep, or they might be a little bit over schooled or whatever, but it doesn't stop them coming up through the competition.
No, they definitely can. They're very competitive and keen, and they can compete with the best now. Like,
and I know you like to train a lot of dogs too, and your father especially. But you sell dogs abroad there. You sell a lot of dogs out to the continent and some to America. And that I suppose you have a good idea what they need, but are they able to go on and do well with them?
Yeah, I suppose the big thing is finding the dog to suit the person. It is nearly as important as the type of dog. Like, as you know and I know, different types of dogs. There's dogs would suit me that wouldn't suit you, and vice versa. And it's just really finding the dog for that person, and that person to suit the dog. Like.
Yeah, funny. That's the one thing I wouldn't like about selling dogs. You could sell a dog you love, but if it's not the right one for the person, it doesn't matter how.
It doesn't matter what to do. Like, and
yeah,
and it's just getting that to bond for people. Like.
Yeah. You're preparing now for the Irish National, and with a bit of luck the International, but right after that we have a very different competition, away with dogs. Are you looking forward to that one now? That's a little bit different.
Yeah, definitely looking forward to it. Was quite thrilled to get invited to go and compete at it, and a lot of quality handlers. you're talking about 15 of the best.
But some people don't know, you have a bit of a home advantage. Your wife Gwen Ann is from Wales there, and you've been over there schooling and trialling with them boys there. I think you have a little bit of an inside track on it.
Yeah, I don't know if it would just come as a home advantage, but yeah, I do enjoy going trialling in Wales and meeting all those guys, and yeah, I get on quite well with them. And
Yeah.
but it's very strong competition over there.
Yeah. Well, they couldn't make the competition much stronger now in this way with dogs. But still, you know a good bit about those boys. Like, you judged there in the World Trial, and you've seen. Did you judge Derek Fisher now? Have you seen him run?
Yeah, I judged Derek in the Worlds, and I judged the Continental last year with Kevin, and we seen Yaron, and yeah, just them people are all up for it, and I'm sure it'll be a very tough competition.
Have you decided who you're going to run?
I'll probably run my Scott dog. He's getting on, well, he's 7-year-old. I suppose just that wee bit more experience, and I'll probably just run him this time.
Yeah. Yeah, it was nice to see him qualifying for the international last year too. Well, of course, both your dogs did.
Yeah, I had a good year coming into the international, and yeah, getting the two qualified into the Supreme was just really.
And is there anything particular about Scott now? Does he give you confidence, or can you tell us a little bit about him there, what it is that you're sort of attracted to with him?
Yeah, Scott's a nice type of a dog. He's more that old-fashioned type of dog. Likes coming on, and you know, there's a nice pace and following him. Can be quite strong in at hand, but hopefully we'll master that.
Very good. Well, you know what you're going to meet in Wales anyway, so hopefully you've made the right choice. And
I hope so.
We look forward to seeing you. Thanks very much, Allistair, for having us here. It's been really good talking to you.
Thank you.